coming in. Brian, say hello, Travis. He's mad because I told him I called him on Monday and it's now Tuesday. He's not mad, but say hi, Brian. How are you? So first, we've got Peter. Peter, how are you?
Doing great. How you doing, man?
I am well. I am charged. It's been a good day. Things have been going well. Brian's okay, so he's not mad at me.
Oh, excellent.
Who
can stay mad at you?
Right. Who could stay mad at a face like this? We've got Russell. Russell's here.
What up?
Look at all those tats. I always forget that you have tats. I know a lot of them are new though, aren't they?
From the past year, probably since I've seen you last. Some of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gambit, you should be on this. You want to be on this? Send me a message. Let's get on the link. Come on in. And we have Stony. Stony, how are you? How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. How's everybody else?
I'm doing good. I got these migraine glasses that prevent me from getting a headache every time I use a computer now. So, I'm very excited. I can get from the beginning of the day to the end of the day without being amazing, without being feeling awful. And they look pretty good. I had to use them at Comic-Con this weekend, and I kept being called Cyclops and Daredevil. And there are worse people to be compared to than those two.
That's true.
But I thought it's going to be in a week or so. I'm working at the moment. There's a whole list. We'll be doing one next week, every Thursday for the next 4 weeks. So you can come in on any of those times. But yes, Gambit. And I have tons of comps for you. You need to come over and get them. Gambit did a story in this as well. So happy launch day, ladies and gentlemen. We are at what percentage would that of the goal be? We have 10K. We need 30K. I guess that's 33%. Yeah,
yep.
That's pretty good. So we're doing good. Peter's here with the math.
Surprise.
So amazing.
AJ1.
And Peter.
Yeah, naturally.
Well, I was talking about it. The last time we did this, Russell, the first day we had almost 1,500 and 250 backers, but you kind of greased the wheels for 2 weeks prior to us being live. Remember, you were live 2 weeks doing the last Cthulhu. So it's a little different scenario and all that.
I mean, are you saying that all your success is because of me? Because I will take that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I know you've admitted that I had the better idea, but I do like that I did steal the success from you. That is correct.
I'm actually not angry because I get to now. Your guilt for having a better idea and writing my code just means I always get the best characters in the Cthulhu series, and I'm very okay with that because it means I don't do any other work.
Well, and the other thing is, were you ever Ringo nominated for any of the Cthulhus?
I've been Ringo nominated now for a Cthulhu. No,
okay.
I have not.
Well, here's my message on that. And I know that I made more on my Cthulhu than you did, but at the Kickstarter booth, whose Cthulhu was there? It wasn't mine.
That's true. It's mine. But someone has to be first, and
right.
Usually the second person does it better. And I'm happy to be the first one. I'm happy to go first and go headlong. My whole career has just been how can I test this stuff out and then have someone do it better than me? That's really all I want. I mean, I want to do it. I don't want to do it well, but I want other people to be that's a great idea. Maybe I should do it good.
So let's talk about everything we've got going on here. Let's talk about everybody's characters, and I'll bring them up on the screen. Well, actually, let's bring up the campaign, and we'll send that link out to everybody who's watching. Let's do that first. So the campaign is here. We've got Matt. We got other creators from it in the house too. We got Matt Knoll saying hi. Fellow Neverlanders from Wichita, Kansas, out here for a couple. And John's here, and that's a orange octopus, which is not Cthulhu. And Jerome says, "Hey, I like the animated gift in the corner. Yeah, I found out if you put an animated GIF in StreamYard, it will rotate, and I think it's pretty cool. I may do that more often because that's a cool little feature.
Yeah, indeed.
Highly recommend. So here's and we've got Phillips here. How are you, brother?
What's going on, everyone? Sorry for being late.
The resident anthology pro. He's been in more anthologies than anybody.
Nice.
Yeah, I slowed down this year, but I gotta make my comeback in 2024.
Well, I know Russell and I do more than a few anthologies too, but you are the king as far as I'm aware.
Thank you.
So, all right. So we're gonna go over everybody's character, kind of talk about it a little bit, let you kind of pitch it, go through the campaign one time, and then we'll kind of let you guys go to sleep. If you guys have anything else going on, I know Russell, you have a campaign going on. We'll go through yours as well, just to give you the extra promotion while we're here. Because why not? Why not? And it's semi-related, to the whole thing.
Kind of in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah. So let's go down to the bottom here. We'll go through it all later, but I'm going to go through people's stories. That's too far. Let's start by, let's see who's first here. If anybody sees their story, yell at me. Oh, Phil, we'll start with you.
All right.
Tell us about this story. You're going to have to give a spoiler, I think, to do that, but let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, the title is All Lost Boys Go to Heaven, inspired by the Disney movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yes.
I don't think it's Disney.
No, I don't think that's Disney. I think
No.
Disney? Is that Fox?
It was probably some precursor to DreamWorks.
Yeah. So that title inspired this. So pretty much what I do in this story is everyone remembers when Anakin killed all those younglings in episode 3. That's pretty much what I do with Peter and just one lost boy. I didn't get rid of all of them, but one in particular.
And
MGM.
And I really just go into like the dark side of Peter Pan. I was not familiar with I grew up actually on Julia Andrews' Peter Pan. So and then I grew into the Disney, but I didn't know from the original Peter Pan story that Peter Pan flipped and flopped between being a hero and a villain. I'm not sure if he was exactly a villain, but I know I did read that he wasn't always the hero that Disney wants us to believe he is.
Right.
It's not that necessarily that he's a hero or a villain. It's that he's a child. Like, so whatever's more fun. My kid is a stormtrooper 1 minute, and he is he's a Ninja Turtle the next minute, and he's good guys and bad guys. He's kissy missy. He's all these things, and he switches. The difference is Peter Pan is a lot more violent and has a lot more powers and is immortal. All sorts of other stuff.
And a shout out to Jack Van Boom. He's the artist, and he did the lettering, and he just leveled up this entire story. Yeah,
it's really, really good. Trista says, hi. My wife says, Sebastian. That's what she said. I don't know what Sebastian said. We'll have to go back. So amazing to see so much talent in Peter. That's but yeah, I think it's an interesting. I think that's one of the big things that we're going to get across in this anthology. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about buying it, and you're going to learn a lot about Peter, about the way his mindset works, and it's set after it. One of the big things that I love about Russell is from the beginning is he's such a big fan of the classic. I don't know about Peter Pan specifically, but I know Alice and the Oz. He was just like, all right, where is it in which book? I need to know exactly which book of it is, and making sure I'm up. And we've been on podcasts. Remember the first Oz one, Stoney, where like everyone was like quiet because that guy was trying to stump us and like boot us out. Luckily, Russell had got me to the wall, so I had brushed up and was ready for that combat. But people know this stuff and care about this stuff, and we also do when we're making these books. Renda says rewatch The Craft. I like The Craft, but I'm not sure what that has to do with Neverland, but I would like to rewatch The Craft. So, Russell, Tinkerbell.
Yes.
Tell us.
I love Tinkerbell and I hate Peter Pan. And so I did a story where Tinkerbell basically says all the things I don't like about Peter Pan, and I always wish that she would say. I don't think I can say more than that without spoiling the story.
Right.
But I worked with Claire Donahue for the second time. She did my Alice story too. Just her artwork is so lovely, and it's so I don't want to say evocative, but it's so, her faces are so expressive and her bodies are so expressive. It just allows me to really go nuts, and because her work is so, I'm gonna say beautiful, but it has this quality of wholesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I love playing against that of to show when we did the story in Wonderland, and you just had her have these horrible images behind her as she's falling down the rabbit hole. I love that juxtaposition, and so being able to basically just tear Peter a new one is just very, very, very satisfying to me, especially with how much I love Tinkerbell.
Yeah, it's really good. And one of the things, if you do want to read his story, yours is one of the preview stories in the book. So there is a preview PDF, so you can check it out. Click on it right on the Kickstarter, and you can read the whole story. So you don't even have to worry about being spoiled. He'll spoil it for you. Right in that one story. It's pretty cool. Next, we've got these bridesmaids. And begin to try to avoid spoilers. That's the image that I used.
Yeah. So I took the mermaids, and it's a confrontation between the mermaids and the pirates. I really enjoyed this. I do a stupid amount of research, and probably half of it doesn't actually make it onto the page, but doing research into not only just the Neverland mermaids, but mermaids in general, and then referencing pieces of Cthulhu lore was a lot of fun. I paired with Ben Humanic again. He was with me in Wonderland, and we really got along. We really clicked really well, so I went back with him for this one, and I had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a really cool story. I think it's a lot of fun. And I love that it feels like it's a sequel to, it's kind of like a spiritual sequel to what you did in Wonderland. You know, it's kind of poetic. It's got stuff.
Nice.
So you and Ben have your stuff, you know? If only you knew Ben for the first one, right?
Yeah, right? Or that you knew I wrote.
Or that I knew you wrote. That is also true. That is also true.
Ben colors these, by the way, just so we're clear.
And then the weirdest thing is General Starkey, who we got over here. A minor character has two. I know I'm still shocked that two people were like, no, I need that. So let's go to Billy Jukes.
Yeah. So I mean, we started talking Neverland. I had two pitches, one of which was for Hook, and I was like, I'm not remotely important enough for Hook, and I tried to avoid my namesake as much as possible in terms of as a main character as well. So I kind of reread through both the original story, and the play, just kind of paying attention to it, and I realized that I really wanted to do Billy Jukes. He's one of the most described pirates outside of Hook and Smee in the original story, as being covered head to toe in tattoos. And I got this great idea that, in the original story, he's essentially killed off screen. He says, "Aye, sir," and "Aye, aye, sir," as he's told to go fetch the cat of nine tails, and he goes off screen where he gets run through by Peter. And you never see him again. So I thought, I started kind of thinking about it a bit more and more. And a lot of people get tattoos that mean something to them about something individual. So I thought maybe he's immortal, and every time he dies, he gets a new tattoo to commemorate the way that he died. And so I kind of wrote my story around that. And that way, I had that pretty early on, so I was able to kind of put it in our production group, so anybody could use him, and they could even kill him off in their story, and it didn't matter. He could show back up again later.
Yeah, he's been kind of fun. It's been pretty wild having him involved in doing that. So those are the stories. And then for me, I guess I wrote one too, huh? I wrote a couple, but we'll deal with the big one. I decided that I will take a main character. I, in the first one, took a main character. I took Dorothy, but that was just to set the tone. And then for the second one, I took Yellow King. And then the third one, I came back for Hook. I actually claimed Ivan Hook. We actually had planned for 3 Captain Hook stories. One of them was Cullen Bunn, took one or part of it. And then we had someone who dropped out. It's just been wild. So I ended up with Hook, and it's about rebirth. So like we just talked about earlier, Hook died in the book. He was eaten by TikTok, which is the name of the crocodile, believe it or not. The name is TikTok. He also tick and talks, so it works out really well. Not related to your TikTok from Oz, Stoney, just for the record. No relation. They're not second cousins or anything. So we deal with how do we resurrect Captain Hook from that? So when Cthulhu comes to Neverland, they're like, what is feared in this world? And they're like, a boy named Pan. And he's like, that's unacceptable. What used to be feared? And they resurrect Captain Hook in a weird way. So we resurrect that, and we see how that works out. And it's a lot of fun. I'm working with Etienne, who's been our cover artist for the main covers of all the books in the beginning. We got Benjamin Morris here. Congratulations to the start of the campaign. Thank you. We're very happy. We're doing well. But yeah, that is the main gist. We're going to go over the Kickstarter, kind of talk about it a little bit. Does anybody want to bring anything else about production or about anything since we've been doing this? A lot of you guys have worked on all 3. So what have you guys seen for the growth and changes as we've done this?
Go ahead, Russell.
I was at Comic-Con last week, and it was really exciting to have people come up and talk about how much they love both of the books. But like they had the Wonderland to sign. Also,
right.
I like that you put the signing page in the back. That was very smart.
Yeah, it's way better than in the front.
I agree.
But so that's the first time you ever signed one, Russell?
I don't remember if I ever signed Oz. I think I may have signed Oz, but I'm pretty sure I signed more Wonderlands this weekend than I've ever signed of Oz. So people seemed really excited.
Yeah, Wonderland, like I've been talking about it. We'll go on. And since it's a Creator Hangout, I don't mind being a little spoilers. I'm really curious about this campaign, right? Because Wonderland, I think, is the biggest you can get of the public domains. Like, hands down, every con you'll see stuff. I think Oz is probably second, and then Neverland is the tail end of back. And there's probably a lot of grim fairy tales before you even get to Neverland, really. So I'm kind of curious if the Cthulhu Invades Cthulhu Invades brand itself is gonna, keep it brand alive and keep it at the same tone or not. So it's interesting. What do you guys think?
I mean, I could tell you just from, I've you've been to mostly the same cons that I have, right? But I mean, that's people. The moment I say Neverland, people have immediately perked up when I've talked about it, because that's always part of that table pitch, right? Oh, we did this one, and then we did this one, and guess what's coming up soon? That you kind of always do to get people interested in it. Right. Even though, quite frankly, Cthulhu Invades by itself sells those books.
Right.
You could have Cthulhu Invades my bedroom, and that book would sell.
Well, based on what's popular on Kickstarter, yes, it would do very well. Yeah.
As long as you get Pat Shand on it, right? That's the
right.
But it's sincerely though, the Cthulhu Invades brand is quite enough. You also have Disney redoing it again and of course, Wonderland being nominated for the Ringo,
Right.
kind of all at the same time. So I think you've got a pretty good perfect storm for this one.
Yeah, it's really nice how that worked out, right? Like there was a delay in production. It was interesting this year. The direct market's really hard, and I wasn't aware for it. And I think Russell and I have spoke about transitions when you're trying to do something. He this year was not going to do any more comics and kind of let someone else take over it. When you kind of switch into like your new mode of doing stuff, it's really takes all your focus. So I was really lucky that I had the team that I had of people who just like, all right, we know what we're doing. We're going to do it. We'll get it done. And then I only had to deal with really the new people who've never done a Cthulhu book with us before to train. And everyone else was just like, all right, cool. I got it. Travis will get to us. Travis will yell at us once a month. And then we'll just have to do it. And it was really good to get that done. And that I'm really so appreciative of the team that we built together. So it's been
to expand on what Pete was talking about, none of the Cthulhu Invades books have been a hard sell. I ran into Travis Hill, who was on Wonderlands in Tulsa a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that he had one of his new books at the table doing a signing at a comic book store, and he said, I don't have any of the Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, and that Chuck, said that was dumb, that I should have gotten some because they sell really well. And I said, no, he's right. Like the shows that I've done, having Cthulhu and then my books, like, I don't know, it's hard for me to sell myself sometimes, but it's really easy for me to talk up my friends. So I'm like, I have so much to say about Cthulhu Invades, and they're like, well, what's this? I'm like, that's mine, it's crap. But this one, it's never been a hard sell. Like they go like, hotcakes.
Well, and one of the things that was really interesting when I was putting this campaign together, and we'll actually go over the campaign. I can kind of show you guys, which is really, really cool. So we got the campaign here. As I was doing stuff, I looked at this for one. Like when we started, we had like half the logos. It was like about half this, and now we've got pretty much every logo you can get. And I probably could actually put every logo you could get on there if I wanted to. I just choose not to. There's not a major publisher that's not on there, so that's really cool. The other thing, for those who see them, these are 3 covers. We've got, we're bringing, since Russell's not doing Cthulhu's anymore, we had to get Angela covered so everyone could get their Cthulhu fix for 2023. She didn't do one with the relaunch, did she? A new cover?
I mean, no, she didn't do a cover.
No, she did a new story, didn't she?
You would have to ask Lori. I know I'm the only person that I know did a new story. Okay. But it's a good idea to always have an Angela cover. That's, you're never going to go wrong. Right.
It's a good cover. This is a good little promo. So we've got Etienne who's done each one, which is really cool. We've got Angela, which is great. And there may be another version of here that has Tinkerbell right here. We can't remember, and we can't seem to find it. We messaged Angela, but she hasn't got back to us yet. So there may be one with a Tinkerbell here. I don't know. I'm trying to find it.
I was really excited about this one.
Isn't it? Isn't it the best one ever? And if you, it's so good. It's so different. I really, really love this hardcover.
Travis, I think the Substack cover is brilliant.
Yeah, Etienne did that.
That's so good.
Yeah, Etienne did that, which is really, really cool.
Now, this was by the same person who did the other 2 for.
Correct. Yeah, we've had the same person do cover A and the same person do the hardcover every one for all 3 books, which is pretty cool. Daniel says Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is an easy sell at cons, and Trista says like Switch Rave. I don't know what that means, but
it's a Homestar Runner reference. I think she meant to say light switch rave.
Like Homestar Runner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cheat, we put in that light all for you to turn the light switch on and off, not to give lights to grids. That song, that is that?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm all up to speed. All right, so this is what I wanted to point out. So Russell, when we started, and don't take this offensive. Like you were like the top brand who I could get, like because you were the top creator that we get. Now we've got Cullen Bunn and people who worked at Marvel and DC, and not just like showing that, like even me, like we've people rose up and down this chart based off stuff. Stoney was a big get back in the day when he was working over at Mad Cave. You know, what's that, Stoney?
Way back when.
Way back when. Homestar Runner reference. I would do Cthulhu Invades Homestar Runner in a minute. So if anybody could get them on, like, let's do it. I'm so excited.
I reference a strong bad email daily. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Every day, every time I check my email, I say, "Oh, go and check some email." Every time I hope it's written by a female. Like every time. Still, it's been like 15 years since that.
It's been longer than that, even. I think. Good gravy.
Yeah, I always do that. We're Allie or Allie's sister. Allie or Allie's sister.
Yeah, I reference that one all the time. Anytime I get a nonsensical text or email, the next thing out of my mouth is "I am right single to salute and wait for answer again."
Oh, great. Yeah, save that one forever. Give me no kids. Cool looking thing I said. Dude, I really want this to happen. I don't know what kind of licensing agreement I can make, but I know they made like $100 billion on a Trogdor game a few years ago, so I don't think it's cheap. I think they know what their property's worth. But I think it's really cool. Look at this creator list because I just grab a snippet. But if you look at it, like of people who've gone up and down as our careers gone, as we've done stuff and what's relevant, because that's kind of how you do these things. It's really, really, really cool. And having someone like Cullen Bunn, which, by the way, for the record, and everyone here can speak for this, when we signed Cullen Bunn, he did not have a book out in every publisher every month, every day. Just for the record, I feel like Orange Cone is just another. All right, cool, got to catch them all. That's fine. I've never done that one.
It just goes to show that your platform launches people into the stratosphere, Travis.
Right. Which I think is funny. So we've got all the books, all the old books. We've even sold out of a cover, which is cool. We got this is where you can read Russell's story. We've got each of the characters, and here's what I want to show you. So we've got all the Peter Pan characters separated, which is cool. I mean, we're even missing. There's so many. Peter Pan has a lot of characters, but they're mostly human, so they're not exciting for people to get. But there's so many here, which is pretty cool. And various art stuff, which is really cool. And this Mary Zorbel, this girl does My Little Pony, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she did a story. She's one of the few that did a story in each of the Cthulhu's too.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
I think she went all the way back to Monsters and Other Scary-ish.
She said Tiger Lily. Yes, Tiger Lily is right here. This Tiger Lily. The only thing we didn't do is the Indians, the actor of Native Americans, because they're troublesome. They're a little bit racist.
It's not the early 1900s anymore.
Right. So, and then we've got the pirates, which I think is cool. But one of the things that we did here is we've got deep dives into Cthulhu mythos. So we've got Cullen Bunn did a Dagon story. We have this Herbert West. This is a Reanimator story. Detective Thomas Malone is a character in one of the books. And we've got the Yellow King, we've got Hastur in there, and Cthulhu. So there's some really cool things in here, some deeper cuts than we normally get, which is one of the cool things about coming to Neverland versus everything we've done before. Since we're in Neverland, in my world or my continuity, Neverland and Earth are kind of connected. Like they go back and forth. He goes back and forth. So we go back and forth. Versus Wonderland. When you're in Wonderland, you don't go back. You know, when you're in Oz, you don't go back. They're two separate places that aren't easily returned to unless you have shoes or portals or rabbits.
It's interesting because you had told me that there's going to be very few stories in this one because like there was a very small cast of characters. So like I was like, there's no way that's true. Like I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how he's going to get to 200 pages, but like it's for sure going to be 200 pages at least.
Oh yeah. We are at more stories than than Wonderland. And just the other night I was telling you I need to hire somebody else for another story. Like I need to, because we're at the phase now where I kind of put them all together, make sure they all fit, and then that's when you realize you missed something. Actually, I'll spoil it here. Like Russell wrote the best Tinkerbell story. That is like it's my favorite story in this book thus far that I've read. I haven't read all of them. I've read their scripts, but I'd like to see the finished form. But Russell's like, because I think Russell and I are in the same opinion. I feel the same way about Peter Pan. He's my least favorite character in Peter Pan. I like the theory that Hook is trying to save these children, and like Pan's just this nuisance. Then I started putting the book together, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that people really love Tinkerbell. I should probably have more than one appearance by Tinkerbell, because I think, and my wife pointed this out, Tinkerbell's probably more loved than Wendy.
Oh yeah, she had her own show.
Right. Right. She had a spinoff.
Believe you me, I'm well aware of that show. I came out when my kids were young.
Peter Pan is powerful dodger. Tinkerbell has her own freaking media frenzy. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we
Series
can't
of movies. Yeah.
So we had to add at least one more story. I think there's a bunch of references, but I couldn't not do another story. But what's really cool about it is we're at this point where I'm not scared to do that. I'm not scared of adding another 4 or 5 pages, getting a creator and do that. And we also, we do, for the record, for people watching this, we do plan on getting it way before December to you. But every year, the editing team and the proofreading team have to like work their asses off to do it really quick. So I just put a crazy long deadline and be like, they'll get it done by then.
Yeah.
We're still where we are normally at with this campaign. We still get all the stories together. We're still doing everything. Everybody's done. We're just, I don't want to put that hard deadline on my wife. And Kickstarter's actually been a lot more, as a platform, has been a lot more respectful, going, you can have certain plays at different stages and it's okay. So that's great. So, all right, going back. You all right, Phil? I saw you. I lost you for a minute.
I was sneezing. I wanted to do it off camera.
All right, fair enough. All right, so going through, we've got all that. We've got, of course, the poems by David Greshel. He is back. Does anybody want to say anything about the poems? Poems are my favorite part of the book.
I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. Dave's a great guy and a great poet.
It's really cool. And then it's really sad. The worst part about having a poet, though, is many times people will submit stories that are poems. And I'm just like, yeah, we have one.
All eyes on Stoney.
So, well, yours was at least made sense for the
Right.
book.
I think so. I mean, it was
Oh,
a sequel
absolutely.
to the Carpenter the Walrus, so like, it made sense to me, I guess.
Going back to the campaign. All right, and we got all the rewards, digital rewards. We've got the physical rewards, all the cool stuff here. We've got, trilogy sets here. A lot of people are upset that there's no Oz hardcover. I am out of them. I will order them if we get to a certain part of the campaign, but we're not there yet. Got the box sets. The box sets are really cool. We added a whole bunch of stuff. There's that cool emblem that's from the Substack cover. All the cool stuff. And then we've got the metal bookmarks. We've got the whole run of them. We've got some cool covers there. And then one of the things we did, because this is the end of our trilogy, right? This is the end of the trilogy of books. We have this really cool red set. It's a red set of our villains, so we got the Queen of Hearts, we got Hook, and we've got the Wicked Witch. So we're doing a throwback. So we're getting some new material for those people who love those other franchises, putting them all together. And then we've got the whole Orange Cone add-on. And then I show you that we do signings. We've done signings several times. Look at Peter in the mask. Look at Peter. Look at his daughter grow up tremendously in between the two pictures.
It's crazy. I mean, you think about it with Oz, she was 14, and that child is turning 18 in 4 weeks.
Right. And this store isn't even open.
I remember she did a talk with us for the Cthulhu for my Cthulhu story, and she came on the thing, and I was like, "Wait, you're like this big? Like, what do you mean?"
Yeah,
you're like,
well, she is still this big. It's really kind of funny because she and I were talking about that earlier today, oddly enough. And it's like when she was 7, she hit 5, and then between age 7 and now, she's grown a whole other inch, and that's been it. So she's this tiny little thing, and it's the funniest thing it shows because I'll say, "Oh yeah, everything on this table features artwork by my kid," and they, they're all over it. And then they find out, like, oh, she's 17 years old. They're like, "Wait, what?" She does not look her age.
And what's really interesting, we figured this out when we started getting this book ready, is she's grown up with the characters too, because Dorothy is the youngest at 13, 14. At 15, 16 is when we got Alice, and then we've got 17, 18, which is Wendy. So, which is pretty odd. Which is pretty cool. Cool. That is it, gentlemen. Well, we've kind of gone over the Kickstarter. We've kind of talked about it for a little bit. We hanged out for a little bit. You guys want to say anything else while you're hanging out? We've done a little bit of promoting. If you guys haven't backed it, we're going to promote it. I know that we still got to look over anybody else who has a campaign. I know you have a campaign, Russell, so I'd love to go over that real quick.
Travis, based on the first 24 hours of this book, the second book, and the first book, is this the best 24 hours you've had so far, or were the other two better?
Well, it's not over yet. So the last
I think you said 15,000, right? For one.
Yeah, Wonderland
is 15. Yeah,
Wonderland had a hell of a lead-in.
And like we were talking earlier in this program, we had a big lead-in with Wonderland. Let me check what Oz is. Hold on. Let's look up the old kick track.
Yeah, the Wonderland had Cthulhu is Hard to Spell 3 leading right into it, had a few of the same creators and everything. It's Russell's book.
We did a lot of like the same. We did like a lot of the same shows also, like both times, and like a lot of the same creators. Also, it's just like Oz is the biggest, like you said, like aside from Grimm's fairy tales, I can't think of anything that's bigger than like Oz in the public domain. I mean,
Wonderland.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I meant. I meant Wonderland.
Yeah. So just so you're aware, so Oz had $2,356 and 59 backers. So you're safe to say we have thoroughly beaten Oz.
Yeah.
But we still got a little ways to go on that on Neverland. But I think we basically need about $500 tonight. And I don't think that is unachievable. It's been out there. People in California. What time is it in California, Russell?
6:45.
Yeah, so it's still early over there. I think we've got potential to beat it today. And even if we don't, again, I think Wonderland's a bigger brand. We had Russell stuff going through. I still think we're going to come out ahead during the whole campaign. So, Russell, let's look up this book real quick. Does anybody, Phil, do you have anything live? I know, or your stuff wrapped, right? Phil?
You're muted, man.
I'm muted. Okay, my last one was Memoirs of the Morbid. That was 100% funded, but that wrapped last week.
All right, so let's talk about this thing called a book, I believe is what they call them.
It's all words. It's all words. I know. It's like, what's even the point if it has only words? But
right.
So this is about. So if you like The Wicked Witch, this book is The Wicked Witch Academy. It's the end of my Dragon Strife universe. So I started it with a 3-book trilogy starring Gilda a few years ago. And then this one features her daughter, and it's an academy book. It's an urban fantasy book. It's set in a world that like I already love, and I got these covers first, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these covers, but like they're just the coolest covers I've ever seen. So I wrote the entire book around just these really cool covers. Let's see. The series is like if you like dragons, it's about dragons. If you like witches, it's about witches. If you like academies, it's about an academy. Like it's all of the it's all the things that I love about fantasy, like, and in one thing. Plus, there's pins, and there's audio commentary, and you can get both books for $10 in ebook. Yeah, and I send them out. It's ready to be delivered. I have it all set up. It's going to be shipped. It will definitely be shipped sometime in August, unless I die or something like that.
Do you think you're going to die?
I don't know. I thought I was going to die at 35. So this has all been bonus time since then. And what a hell of a bonus time it's been. I never would have lived to see Cthulhu is hard to Cthulhu invades anything.
Right? Cthulhu would just be staying to himself and being just a decent deity.
A decent sleeper. He'd be asleep right now. So yeah, I mean, it's one of my well, someone says don't poke the fates, but like I've been saying that for years, and I'm just living in bonus time right now, and this series came in bonus time, so yeah, I don't know. I can't say much more without spoiling it because this is like the second half of the Dragon Strife universe, but it also ties into my Cosmic Thread universe, which is Ichabod, Gods vs. Chronicles, Obsidian Spindle Saga, and a couple of my standalone books. So like it's all going to tie together. I'm actually writing the book that ties them all together right now.
Do you so this is a two-part or two issues, two books.
Yeah.
And the first one was 3 books, right? So it's 5 in the series.
It's 5 in the series. And it is like a direct sequel to it. So the first 3 books end on kind of a satisfying but definitely cliffhanger. And this one hopefully resolves everything.
Nice.
And the books are about 50,000 words or about 250 pages long.
You know, I was thinking about that today. Because I primarily have written screenplays and comic books all my life and not a lot of novels, I don't care about word count. And it's so crazy to me when a comic guy is like, oh, I wrote 500 words today. I was like, cool. Like, how detailed is your script? Like, there's so many extra questions that I have for that than if a novelist tells me that. So why do you think word count is so important when it comes to noveling? I mean obviously
people want like a book that's usually like that thick.
Right.
And so word count doesn't matter in comics because it's page count. Like,
right, exactly.
Like you look at pages, a word count. So roughly 250 to 300 words are on a page. So like you can kind of, instead of just saying it's 98 pages, you can kind of divide word count by 250 and you know how many pages it's going to be. It's just there's not a good other metric. Like with comics, it says page 1, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4. In a screenplay, you basically are writing to a sequence. So, and they do care very much about page count in scripts, but scripts are pretty are like formatted all like it's all Courier New. It's all like, whereas with novels, you could have a book that's the same word count, but a very different page count. So every font is a different size, has different kerning, and then you can make the books different sizes.
Right.
Can be different sizes. The letter, like, and then there's chapters that like there can be chapter break illustrations. There's just like so many things that fill out a book that it's hard to gauge like how long that book is. And I don't think like fans care. It's really just a metric that editors and agents and publishers use, because they can then say, okay, I know how to turn this word count into a certain page count.
So one more question for you, Russell, before we go say our goodbyes here. Do you write like Neil Gaiman? So what I ask of that is, Neil Gaiman, regardless of what he's writing, if he owns it, it's all in the same universe, even if it doesn't seem like it is. Is that kind of your world?
So it wasn't originally. I
Okay.
used to have all of them siloed, but the more that I wrote, the more that people wanted crossover between things.
Sure.
And so that is when I decided to take all of it and make it just like one cosmic weave universe. And I found a really cool mechanic that I can't reveal yet. But basically, how all of the like it's a rebirth. A lot of my stuff is about rebirth. So like
Sure.
there's like rebirth cycles throughout the course of the universe. So like they all take place in the same like existence, but
Right.
not in necessarily the same universe, even though like there's one overarching universe. Like basically, it's like Earth 616 or something. It's a lot like Marvel's universe.
Sure. Nice.
So it wasn't intentional, but I had to make it intentional because that's also the reason why I write such long series, because people just like, I don't want that stuff. I want the old stuff just again.
Right. Well, I play a game called White Wolf, and White Wolf does that. Like, that's part of White Wolf's thing. They have kind of reset the universes from Exalted to Werewolf to stuff. So I feel that. I understand that. Anybody else do that? Write stuff like for me, I do two. I have two separate universes. I have mundane, like where no supernatural stuff can happen, and then supernatural stuff can happen. They're those are the two universes, and they're connected. I have a way to connect them all. You don't need to know it, type of thing.
Well, I used to have that, and then people were like, "Show me on the page," or "Don't tell me it's all the same universe." And I was like, "All right." It's like, "All right, bitch. Like, I'll get it. Like, I'm gonna do it all together. Then, like, I'll show you how it all connects. Like, the book might not be good because it's gonna be all like interconnected, interlocking things, but like, I'll show you. I'll show my work."
When do you guys think readers wanted to see crossover? Besides, like, our normal comic books, right? When did that happen? Especially like when Stephen King. When did readers realize that his books were crossing over?
Well, I think for him, it was all the Dark Tower stuff that he like implied in all the other books. I think that's specifically for Stephen King. We had all those references to that without actually doing that, and then he did Dark Tower, and it was its own thing. And I think for comics, for indie comics, I think we do it way too soon. I see characters who like are a sketch on a paper, and they have four crossover series before they've ever finished the first series. I think comics do it indie comics at least do it way too soon. That's my stuff. What is Dan say? I consider it multiverse. I don't want every book I do I don't want every book I do to be connected. Check says, look at these handsome motherfuckers. How about you, Stoney? Got any opinions on multiverses, character writing stuff in the same universes?
Yeah, all of my stuff, even if it doesn't look like it, Villainous, Cthulhu, all of it's connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't do that because most of my stuff is a lot of my anthology stuff is co-owned. So that has to be separate from like everything else.
Right. But it's still connected. There still could be threads, but yeah. And
I think that the whole Cthulhu is hard to spell universe is connected. Like that's what I tell people. It's like it's a story about the first one is preparation, then invasion, and then the rebellion against the old god. Like you don't have to read it like that, but like I think it's all like one big story.
No, I feel that. I'm with you. I agree. But I think that's it. So I'm going to go around the room so you can tell people what else you got going on. And then we'll wrap up for the night. Again, we're going to do these every Thursday. They may be a little different. We'll have different guests. You'll probably be able to find me on the internet every night for the next 25 days. So be able to hang on. One of the special ones that I do want to talk about, though, we're going to do a comic level up. I'm not telling you where the guest is, but that'll be I think I'm switching the date. I think it's going to be next Monday. I do want to talk about that. And that's going to be only a Cthulhu Invades Wonderland people. We're going to talk about Ringo and what that means to us and all that stuff. So make sure you tune in for that. I don't normally simul broadcast our comics level up, but I will definitely do that one. So Peter, tell us what's going on. What are you working on besides this amazing amazing anthology.
Well, if you haven't already yet, go to your local comic book shop and demand a copy of Quicksand issue 1, which I edited. It's from Scout Comics.
Mm-hmm.
We have issue 2 shipping out, I believe, late August is when issue 2 comes out on that one. It's going to be a 5-issue series before we're done. It's written by our friend Jonathan Hedrick, who was one of the contributors to Oz. Excuse me. And I'm writing some stuff off to the side yet, but I haven't gotten it to the point where I'm ready to hire an artist yet. So, but we're getting pretty close, and I'm starting to talk to somebody to do some editing for me, since I do enough editing for other people that I know I need editing.
Nice. Tom, I don't think I have your personal Facebook, and you're in the group. So Tom did a story in this as well. Tom, if you don't know Tom, he wrote Spawn. He wrote remember when Spawn? Remember when Todd McFarlane and Eric Larson were doing Spawn together? This is the guy who was writing the scripts. Nobody cared because it had Todd and Eric.
Right.
But that was the guy. He was the guy. I like him. I like Tom. So you could be on these, Tom, too, if you want to be on any of these shows. Russell, I know you have tons of stuff. Tell us about your Substack, how great it's going, all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to talk about. So I started a Substack a couple months ago after my Facebook account was locked, called The Author Stack. It's at authorstack.substack.com. We have it's all about author growth and like growing your author career, your writing career, making more money, making better stories, building sustainable income. And then behind the paywall, we also have access to read Ichabod and Katrina, and basically all of my comics that aren't Cthulhu is hard to spell. Also about 10 novels. So whether you like nonfiction stuff, there's a bunch of stuff for you. Whether you like fiction, there's a bunch of stuff for you, especially if you like both, because I know most writers are readers too. I really made it for people that are great fantasy fans and also great nonfiction fans. And you can find it all. I'm releasing a 15,000 word post on making a world-class Substack tomorrow. So if you've ever been interested in Substack, you can subscribe, and that comes. Everything is free for the first 3 weeks before it goes behind the paywall.
Nice. And I'll tell you, I do really well on Substack. I have a paid Substack, and I make $1,000 a year on it, which is pretty cool. And I'm just a little independent writer, I'm just people support me and do some stuff, and I give them some behind the scenes stuff. So it's really cool. Not
to make this a Substack specific, but I've gotten, just literally with recommendation, no money spent, over 600 new subscribers in the last 30 days. Wow. And that's pretty consistent among, probably not 600, but I think that it's the best recommendation engine for getting organic subscribers of anything on the internet.
Yeah, I've never done my math, but I know that I get several a week, from anywhere from 5 to 12 every single week of people following me who I don't know who they are, who are following me on Substack. And even more so when I'm half like Cthulhu Live. Like I had tons this morning because they found out about Cthulhu and they're all following me. So yeah, absolutely. But let me link it. Can you put that in private chat so I can make sure people sub to that? Phil, what anthology are you working on now?
So actually, I'm working on my first mini. For years, I've only done anthologies, but it's time for me to go solo and do my own book on Kickstarter. And right now, I'm working on a buddy horror story. It's a slasher monster and his assistant. So I'm working on that right now. I have a Substack, but after hearing about Russell's 600 new followers, I got to figure out how to grow mine from 70 to 100.
Very achievable, very, very easy to do. Let me make sure everybody gets that. Do you want to share your Substack? We can share it out on this.
Yeah, I'm going to share in a second. Thank you.
All right. And Stoney, what's going on? Villainous 2 at Mad Cave. I heard it's still coming, right?
Any day now. No, I've got some things in the works. Nothing definite. I've been working with an artist named Christopher DeRay, and we've got a story that we wrote for one anthology that didn't get accepted, but he loved it so much he's finding other anthologies to submit it to, and we decided that if it doesn't work with this last one, we may pull the idea out and pull a couple of other artists in and do an anthology of our own on
Nice.
Kickstarter. So we'll see what comes of it.
Nice. That's a great idea. I think anthologies are good. I know that anthologies aren't doing as well as they used to on Kickstarter, but I think that's a trend. I mean, that can change tomorrow. I think it's just ebb and flows. You gotta follow all that stuff, figure out what trend is, and unfortunately, you got to be in that trend at the time that it's launching, right? So, all right. We lost Phil. But yeah, that is it. So follow us on CthulhuInvades.com. Please back it. Please consider it. All these people want to get paid. They do not get paid if we do not finish this book. Follow Russell, back his novels. If you like Wicked Witch or you like the Cthulhu Invade, you probably read Oz. He wrote the Wicked Witch in Oz, so he's probably very educated on the Wicked Witch. So I think he's primo to write that story. I'm going to back it. I haven't yet. I don't know why, but I always back his novels and all this stuff. There's Phil. You all right? Mute.
I'm having technical difficulties from hell tonight, but I'm gonna drop my link in the chat.
All right. Drop your link in the chat. Private chat, real quick. Get that out. So is there anybody? I'm going to go through the campaign one more time. You guys, if you want to leave, you can, because it's just me ranting about the campaign. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail. I don't want to sit you around, but I want to thank you each for coming out. I want to thank you for being part of this book. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud that you guys have come back year after year. Stoney, you've been in all three, 2 as a writer, 1 as a colorist. Phil, you've been in 2. Peter, you've been in all 3. And Russell, you've been in all 3. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys trusting me and doing all that. And again, Tom.
Yeah, absolute honor. Yeah.
So thank you guys. I'm going to go over the campaign one more time. Like I said, if you want to stick around, you can. If you want to bounce, I'm okay with that too. So, all right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Russell.
Oh, I forgot about this ticker. Look at this ticker. Let's
Nice.
change that ticker's name real quick and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's the last time you used that. Yeah.
Well, you have to put, sequel 2 in there. Let's see.
So where are we thinking? By midnight, are we thinking 12,000 or 13,000? What's everyone's guesses?
I really want 15. So I'm
I'm
praying
banking on
for
15. So for those of you watching, why haven't you backed yet?
right.
Tell your friends, tell your girlfriends.
Do you hate puppies?
So we'll see what we get. Speaking, where's my thing? I put my banner up. Where'd it go? There we go. Look at it. Ooh.
Nice.
Very nice.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
Tom back. Thank you, Tom. By the way, Tom, so Tom is a late addition. Let me tell you something, Tom. I'll tell you live. For anybody who backs physical, if you are a creator of this, in case the creators are watching this, you guys get your own creator copies, which are very, very valuable, very, very sought after. And by the way, I'm actually going to be last time I did this, I was not a stickler to that rule, and I was too short. I don't even own one anymore for Wonderland. So you get a special book that you can only get if you're part of it. You get it for free. And guess what, guys? So what you do is you keep the creator copy and you sell the other ones.
Yes.
And guess what? It costs you nothing.
Look at mine.
They're gorgeous. Yeah.
Creator, and you're watching it because there's like 7 of you, So Trista, just so you know, you don't get charged until the campaign ends. So if you'll have money at the end, you can back it now. You don't get charged until the end. All right, so let's go over the campaign one last time. And by the way, I know people who've sold their creator copies for over $100. So
That's crazy. See, these are my copies.
Mhm.
No, my plan is after the strike ends and then Disney buys the rights to this for $1 million, I'm going to sell my creator-owned copies
nice.
for $1 million as well. That's the plan.
It'll be even more because by that point in time, I'm pretty sure Emily will be the head of Disney by that point. So that's the.
I'm going to sell it at Sotheby's.
John, wow, what a great idea, Travis. To give it. John, did you not know that either? I see. I'm glad I said this live to the creators. Yeah, because John didn't know that either. I guess I may need to do another video in the group. Like,
Actually,
hey.
it's one of the things I told Deb too. I made sure she knew since she's not in the group as well.
Yeah, and I got to be a stickler this time because there was 2 people who didn't get one, and if I ever print Wonderland again, I'll print those 2. But it's so much money, and I made up for it. I gave them Substack covers and other stuff.
Yeah.
I felt really bad, and like I said, I don't own one. I don't own a Wonderland. That I let my wife kept one, so I don't want to fully lie if someone sees me with one. So our family has one, but we don't.
Yeah.
We used to have 2. We used to keep our own. She said, I started in the group on Facebook, but trying to hype it up, boss. Thanks, John. Well, one of the things I want to do actually is I have some extra holiday spirits in Oz. I want to actually donate it to Hero Initiative and see if they can.
Oh, nice.
So I besides Wonderland, I printed extra. In Wonderland, I printed extra too, but I was giving to people, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, here you go. And then I got to the point of, let's use Stoney as an example. Stoney Williams wants his creator copy. He paid the money. Oh, that other dude yeah, that's not fair to Stoney who knew the rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I apologize. Nobody's mad at me. And even the first one, like someone misprinted somebody's name, so I made them reprint the book for the creator copy. I was like, and it was his first public work. I was like, no, dude, you're getting at least 1 copy of this effing book with your property.
Your property, yeah.
Because they did it, not me. It was them. Anyways, see, we're almost at 11 now, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll do well. We'll do well. If you guys have other campaigns that you can share it on, please do. All right, so every 50 backers, we give you a free comic. So I owe you a free comic. I'll figure out what that comic's going to be, but I'm going to give you guys a free comic, which is pretty cool. So you're going to get that added. So that's
I know it's not much, but if you want to, you can use Freak Show in that list too.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about it is, this for digital people, if you spend the digital $12, you get all that. That's a lot of free books you're getting.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We were nominated for a Ringo. You can vote at ringoawards.com. If you are a pro comic creator, please vote for us. I am going to be at the Ringos. I'm going to be sitting there. And if I don't win, I'm going to probably throw something at the other guy. And then that's going to happen is I'll get thrown out. I'll get a reputation and I'll be canceled in comics. And I get canceled every other week. So I get over it pretty fast, but just in case one of them sticks, we don't want that to happen. So
I might have a few things for you to bring home from there, so I'll get with you beforehand. There's a few things I missed from home.
Well, I'm driving, so I can bring stuff if I need to.
Specifically, burger cookies are the big one though, and you'll find them for sure.
All right, we got this, we got all these things. So look, our buddy Stoney, he worked for Mad Cave. He's in this book. He did that. I work for Band of Bards. Done that. Scout Comics. That's me and Peter work for Scout. We do various stuff. And then the rest, Cullen Bunn. The rest are Cullen Bunn. That's not true. That's not true, but it is true. We got Pat Shan, Zenoscope, and Black Mask, and Cullen.
Like I say, my artist Deb. She's done Scout and Aftershock and Heavy Metal and a few others too, I think.
So Cullen Bunn. But no, Colin Merlin has done a whole bunch too, and Richard Dueck, and we've got these cool covers. That's a cool hardcover. This is a cool soft cover. This is a cool standard. We got a cool GIF right here. We're not going to sit here, but it changes every couple of seconds. And look, it's all look at how sad Peter is. Looking at that, and look at these wonderful people. Doesn't that look exactly like Jamie if she didn't have makeup on? Can we address that she drew Wendy as herself? Got some cool kids. That's our boy David Galliano.
Travis, what surprised you about this book the most?
What surprised me? That we made 200 friggin' fucking pages. Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, I do remember what Russell said, though. You're like, yeah, I'm only going to have like 5 or 6 characters. So I am thankful that you moved beyond those 5 or 6 characters.
Yeah, no, it's wild. Done. Better know how much I love you. Oh, thanks, Trista. 200 pages. Hot diggity dog. Yeah, it's over 200 pages. I think it's going to be bigger than Wonderland. I really do. Because we have currently 180 story pages already without poems, without the forward, without any of that stuff. And that's without me writing my last story, because I write the last story right before we finish. So it's wild. It's wild. The other things that impressed me is Cullen Bunn saying yes. That was a big deal. I did not expect Cullen Bunn to say yes. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, even just from my perspective, it was like, I say most recently from him, I loved Basilisk. So
Yeah, it was great.
I have to mention it every time I'm in a comic book store. I pass a book with his name on it. I'm like, hey, I'm in an anthology with him.
yeah, I'm in a book with him, and the last one I was in is Ringo nominated.
That's right. Yeah. So being Ringo nominated in the anthology, what does that mean for us individually? Can I put Ringo nominated before my name?
You absolutely should in everything. You should be
Okay.
Ringo nominated writer, because technically you're in the anthology.
I've been forcing people at work to add that to the front of my name.
I put creator because I created the thing, so I'm trying to wow a little bit, and then motherfucking Jerome letterer,
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Guy's a beast.
Yeah. I didn't even know, like, Brian Silverbacks mentioned the Ringos to me, and so I went out to vote and was scrolling through and saw Jerome's name and just about plopped. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome.
No, Jerome couldn't happen to a better letterer. As most people know, he letters almost 100% of these stories. It's probably about 10% of people who are cranky and have to do it themselves and feel that they're better than Jerome. But luckily now that he's Ringo nominated, if he's Ringo award winning, if anybody tries to go, hey, I want to letter own my own stuff, I was like, motherfucker, he's a Ringo. But we do have people like Ben. Ben has a style, like it's part of his art thing. So Ben doesn't. There's 2 people who doesn't bother me 100%. I don't really care if anybody does it. Like you work it out with Jerome. Ben doesn't bother me, and Richard Fairgraves, because he hand letters. Like anybody who hand letters, like my bad.
Well, when Ben sent me the first story for Wonderland, and I saw the letters on it, I was like, I don't care. But just so you know, you might be asked for this without letters. Just so.
But I could give you I could give you the other side of that too, coming from the editing team on that and doing the proofs on it. It's so much easier on us when Jerome's done the lettering, because we can send it back to him if there's anything that needs to be changed at all. When somebody else does his lettering, it's like juggling.
So Jack Van Dome did the art and lettering, and he's very particular about his lettering his projects. I was like, listen, man, I don't want to piss them off over there, but I don't want to piss you off. Please just follow their rules. I beg you. I want them happy.
Yeah, it's a hard situation. It causes a lot of stress for the editing team. It doesn't cause tons of stress for Jerome, but what happens is everyone has different qualities of lettering, and it shows in the book. So if your lettering quality doesn't match up, or you don't use the same fonts, it shows. There's a difference between, I'm going to use Ben again, and I'll even show the story. Ben, it's done in this is the way this story is told. It fits. Yeah. But everybody else who has just bubbles, and one bubbles look drastically different. It affects the way the story feels, Yeah. Because in our anthology, we're telling the one story. We're not doing the other one, So I don't know. It's stuff like that. But then again, then I look at someone like Richard Fairgrave, who hand letters. It's literally part of the art. You can't take that away from someone if it's part of the art.
Right.
Which kind of weird because people do digital art now. So I'm like, well, technically all of it's part of the art. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, and I'm not mad, Philip.
I hand letter via my keyboard as well.
The other biggest negative about it for lettering is we don't get to these you guys are probably not going to get feedback, even though the proofreaders are already started proofing things until 30 days from now. So some of you guys have finished your book, in February or March. So you guys get really mad at us when we ask you in August, hey, I need to make these changes. Well, we weren't going to letter until August, so that's when we're going to look at them.
That makes sense. No, I'd have to be like, well, I have to go back and reread it now.
Right. Yeah, I imagine Jerome's lettering so many different stories that basically him flexing how versatile and creative he is letter. Yeah, this is like an art book to him, to do that. And but again, it's not an ego thing because Holiday Spirits, the first Holiday Spirits, had lettering by somebody else. And that's his book. He literally owns it. He literally can make that decision. And in fact, in Cthulhu, like I told him he can make that decision, but you guys are all lucky he's Canadian. Because if I had the way, Jerome be lettering everything, but he's Canadian. So he's just like, Well,
I'll admit on here, I voted for Jerome, and it was a hard thing for me at first because Justin Birch and Micah Myers are both on there as well, and Justin lettered Villainous, and so I was really torn between Jerome and Justin. I was like, I feel a sense of loyalty to both of these people. Who do I pick? And yeah.
Well, I'm not loyal to anybody else, but I do, however. I do want Justin Birch to letter something. I've actually told Jerome, I was like, I want to cheat on you one time. I just want to see what it feels. I just got to try something new.
I love Justin. He's amazing. I absolutely loved his work on Villainous. And a super cool guy. Like early on, I was wanting to learn not necessarily how to letter myself, but the basics of doing so. And so when he letters, sometimes he'll just throw it up on a Zoom call and let you watch and ask questions while he's doing it. And I thought that was incredibly cool, incredibly kind of him. So yeah, Justin's an awesome guy.
I just kind of like the idea that Travis has a freebie agreement on lettering.
Yeah, but I just signed a contract for a superhero deal, and like that person offered me another letter, and I was like, well, I have an Emmy, a Ringo nominated letterist. So, and I was like, hey, Heather, you want to edit? She's like, absolutely not. You have enough orange cone stuff. I was like, fair.
Well, if you're still looking.
So,
all right.
So these are the covers. Etienne kills it every single time. We've got this Angela Otley, which is so good. So good. And such a different cover for all the other Cthulhu Invades. It's such a unique one because we had Jesus's last time, which was neat. And then we've got this beautiful, like stepping it up cover.
But I've loved all of those painted covers with the lettering behind it and everything. Like all of those, I really, really loved. So I was excited to see you do another one. But this one was a whole other level. Really cool.
And there's so many details here. Like if you notice in the corner here, there's the hook. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these little details which I think are cool. And if you like our stuff, we've got some Wonderland here. We got some Oz here. We got some cool pictures of all the things in the book. All this text right here. We've got some bloody Peter Pan. We got some stuff. And look at these art styles. I think this book is going to have the most unique art styles, and some of it is just gorgeous. And this right here, this is Michael Watson. Like, yeah, I'm so used to his hotshot stuff. Seeing him do like traditional is wild. It's crazy. And Abby and Stan Yak's back, and like we've got some good stuff here. And I got Patrick Brumeyer, my Great State Punk. We got Ben doing some stuff. I tried to get Ben to do a story with me.
Really?
He was so upset, but he was already doing a story in the same anthology, and we felt that wasn't right. Yeah, but we've got some really good stuff here. Cook's Son, Billy Jukes. We got Two Gentlemen Starkey. Apparently, that guy's very popular. We got Dagon. We've got Rich Woodall doing some stuff there. We've got. I mean, this is very cool.
That's
There's
just-
Alan Moore.
Let me have it. That
Yeah,
Boy in
yeah.
Green's really good. That's one I've already proofread. Really, really like that story.
It says Thomas Malone, but I'm pretty sure that's Alan Moore.
Yeah, that's Alan Moore. Well, to be fair, this is a guy who.
It's about
Yeah, this is Detective. Detective is the guy on the bottom.
yeah.
Okay.
It's about right for that character to think, hey, maybe base him off.
So we've got all these cool rewards: $12 for the digital, $30 for all three, which is great value, $10 a piece. Neverland's here for 20. Oh, you know what? I don't think I added the digital for the signals. I got to do that. Neverland's here. Neverland with the cool alt cover. If you want to get all three with the stuff, and this cover is rare too, because remember we glowed in the dark. This cover, so a lot of people haven't seen the original stuff, which is pretty cool. Then we've got these are alt covers, which is pretty cool. We're going to do those 3 alt covers, so you can get a soft cover version of the Vase of Oz. You got the hardcover there. We've got the 2 hardcovers you have available. Like I said, Oz is not available right now. We've got this collector's kit where you get the 2 books, you get a magnet, you get a print. No, that's a sticker. You get another die cut sticker. You get one of these cool metal bookmarks. Our metal bookmarks are cool. Then you get another box set. This is all 3. This is both, and you get the Neverland preview, the bag, prints, the crazy box, the acrylic pen, all sorts of cool stuff. And then you can do it with the hardcover as well, and you get a free coaster and all sorts of cool stuff. Look at the cool metal bookmarks. Have you ever got a metal bookmark? I've ever said. Did I send you one, Stoney?
No, I don't believe I have one.
They're very cool. Make
They
sure
look
when I
amazing.
send you your next one, you get one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to make sure I get so I don't have all of the painted covers. I think I ended up selling the ones that I had, but I do have all the painted covers as magnets. So I need to make sure to get that 3rd painted cover magnet for my phone.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually something I got to add to the back end as well. We're selling T-shirts this time, which is pretty cool.
Sweet.
Nice.
We've got the, and then again because this is the end of the trilogy, we're doing a 3 right here.
I love that.
Yeah, I think they're very cool.
That's good.
We got the add-on menu for all the wonderful orange cone stuff. Here's some proof that we've signed them in the past and that we are okay with being in the same room together.
Yes.
And that is it. That is our campaign. Gotta go. Good night. Best
Good
of
night,
luck.
Tristan.
Thank you. So, right before we go, since you guys stuck around, let's give a little bit of spoilers and / talk about what else we're going to do in the campaign. So, first thing off, starting tomorrow, we start our drops. What a drop is every couple of days, I'm going to do a drop. It's going to be an add-on. So, we're going to drop some old stuff that we have. So, tomorrow, here's a spoiler. Tomorrow, probably at about 11 o'clock, I'm going to drop 6 of these bad boys. So if you want to glow in the dark, you can get it as an add-on, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
We're going to do like the Wonderland box sets. We're going to do some very cool stuff as little drops, and maybe even some new Neverland stuff as drops as well. And they'll be limited on like the other stuff. So that'll be pretty cool. Second thing that we're going to do, which is I think is also pretty cool. We are gonna oh no, that's it. That's cool for what we're doing for the campaign. That's it for that. But let's talk about what's coming next, assuming we fund. So what's coming next, if you guys aren't aware, we're going to do a book at right now. It's called Cthulhu Battlegrounds. And one of the things I really loved, I put this in my Substack and a couple of things. I'm going to write the whole thing. So for you writers, that may upset you. I may have a little bit, but I'm going to write it. It's only going to be 60 pages. It's going to combine everything and kind of end this universe, which is kind of cool. We're going to combine all these things together and do like a stuff. But with that, we have a couple options. I'd love to hear your feedback. So we could go obvious, because we are at that point, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Or we could try to do like a special edition, like three hardcover set with the third little book at the end. What do you guys think?
I would look at trends first before you make that decision.
Sure.
I would look at the hard data on how things go, because
I don't give a shit. What do you want? I want to know what you want. What would be more exciting to have on your shelf?
What would be more exciting for me personally would be the omnibus, but that's because I already have everything separate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've done the same thing. So I have a favorite author by the name of Gene Wolfe. He's like my favorite fiction author ever. And every time there's an omnibus of anything that he's got, I get it, regardless of the fact that I have every story inside of it.
Another thing about the omnibus is that you rarely see indie comics do omnibuses, or at least I rarely see.
Yeah.
Like I can only think of a couple off the top of my head.
Right.
Yeah, because you look like Russell went the opposite route, handed it to somebody, and they split it even further.
Right. That is true. Phil, what do you think?
I want the omnibus as well. I think that would look pretty on the bookshelf.
Yeah, I don't think, and one of the cool things about it from a financial standpoint is you wouldn't want to overprint a bunch of those because they sit. They don't sit. They're kind of a one thing. So that means financially, both for Orange Cone and then for me to having to figure out how I'd give the creators a little bit more if I did something like that. Like, how does that work? The omnibus makes that a little bit easier because I'm not going to have to overprint. I would probably want an extra 100 from what we ordered because, again, I know they're not going to sit, and I know that creators aren't going to want them either. They're big stacks.
Right. It's going to be really, really hard to sell at a con. Yeah.
Right. You may have one that you sit, and then you call me up and go, "Hey, I sold that one."
Yeah. It's just because I'm thinking about it from my perspective too. It's like half the time I'm on a show, you're around the corner.
Sure.
On top of it, so it's like it makes it even harder.
Right. Well, and obvious, I think are a hard sell. Look at any comic store; they're a hard sell. But I don't think they're a hard sell because people don't want them. I think they're a hard sell for an average fan. I think omnibus is one of those you pre-order, you get it, you're excited. It's like the same people who buy like the specialty cases for your video game. That's not going to work on your PlayStation 6, but you still bought that nice slip steel case for your video game.
Yeah, it's the guys that walk around at every one of those shows with the case full of all of the ones they're taking around to the creators to get signed. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the steel case for WandaVision?
No, I haven't.
There's no DVD in it. It's just the extras and a steel case to put on your shelf.
Do you know how you want it to end?
What's up?
Do you know how you want it to end?
Yes.
Story, yeah. I can't wait. Cannot.
Yeah. No, I've known the story since the beginning. I won't.
You've been talking about it.
we've we get a hint of it in Wonderland. You get a hint of it in Wonderland that there was something going on. You see Lion grabbing because spoiler alert, we kill Alice in Wonderland. You've had a year to read it. You have over a year to read it. We kill Alice. So he grabs your sister and says, "We need your help." So we've been building this stuff. So I'll only spoil one part of it. I will tell you that the Oz characters have kind of had an underground railroad for a long time since the beginning, and that's kind of how we'll play with a lot of stuff, which I think is fun. So.
What people really want to know is, does Toto make it to the end? That's the most important thing.
Toto is in every book. Toto's in this book several times. The one consistent is Cthulhu Invades. Is that I see your Phil? I see your. If Phil leaves us, by the way, his phone died. Is Cthulhu loves dogs? We've made that very, very clear. He has an affinity for dogs and does not do evil things to dogs because dogs are not only man's best friend but Cthulhu's best friend. So I do have an ending, but what's cool is I'm going to keep doing Cthulhu's. We're going to do Cthulhu Invades 100 Acre Woods, but we're going to do them very different moving forward. They're not going to be a connected continuity. They're all going to be one and dones together. Or if there is going to be a continuity, it's going to be another trilogy separate from this. So we're not going to. It just would be too much if we keep bringing characters in like.
Yeah.
So
you have to start bringing other characters back over and over again because somebody killed them in a previous.
It's going to get crazy.
You only do that so many times in comics before the fans get pissed off.
Well, and I'd love to, one of the things that we did, I think Stoney remembers when we talked about it, is we'd set these days, day 77, so we could return. So I'm not afraid to return to do a sequel in any of these if we need to, if we get to that point. Because I don't mind doing these one a year forever. I'm really enjoying them. They're really happy. As long as they keep funding and keep funding well, we'll be able to do that. But one of the things I want to do, when we did Holiday Spirits, we had a cover, a Krampus cover that looks like Dr. Seuss. Everybody grabs that at cons every time, but everybody who's ever grabbed it at a con looks at it and puts it back. However, if someone buys another cover and then looks at another cover, looks at it, they may buy that cover because we've sold that cover. It's just always secondary. And what that taught me is the book, if it's too far away from what you're seeing in the cover, it can be attractive. So I wonder, and we want to go forward. I want, if you pick up the 100 Acre Woods book, it would be what you would pick up if you picked up a Pooh, a 100 Acre Woods book. So that doesn't mean, so we'll have some Disney versions, we'll have some this, but it'll all be art styles that are very familiar with that character or whatever. Right. So that's how we're going to do it a little better, and maybe even have creators who write stories that are better than that. So a little bit more stuff. And this is one of the cool things about me growing as a creator. I have a bigger talent pool that we can pick from and do stuff. And when we do these things, we can be a little bit more intimate. So I think I'll be a little bit more targeted on the art, or ask them, hey, can you do it in this kind of style? So when someone picks up the book, I want it to sell, have a better chance of selling. Because I don't think it's often, but I think some people will open this. And even though we explain that it's one story, they don't like the anthology part of it. Mm-hmm. So
right, you do get some of that. But I'd say, you go back to the covers with that. That's absolutely on point though, because that for me, the first ones that sold out of Oz were always Dirk's cover, and it was people that read the books and they recognized that from the cover of the book and immediately gravitated towards it. And of course, having a big Cthulhu at the beginning of it always is the people that draws you to the table, but.
Toto is one of the entities that does not want to provoke. It's good that Toto does well and prevents the reveal of his true form. Okay, so we're not going to have a battle royale against Cthulhu. Oh, we are going to have a battle royale against Cthulhu. That would be
wasn't that hard to spell 3?
We're going to have a battle royale, and it's going to be wild. And again, I actually plan on doing it just like our normal anthologies, having people involved. But a lot of people, when I did the thing, they said, really, I should own it. I've been part of this the whole time, that I should try to own it the best. Oh shit, guys!
Nice.
Oh no! Oh no!
Screenshot.
Oh no, guys!
Whoever you are, you're a wonderful human being.
Yeah, I feel like someone did that on purpose.
Yeah, and it was absolutely done on purpose.
Let me check. Let me check if it was done on purpose or accident. I can tell you. Hold on. I love how it feels like my phone's gonna die. My phone's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm like watching the number go down.
No, it was not done on purpose.
Wow.
There is no additional like monies to make that happen. Interesting. So, all right. I love Trista. She's a good friend of mine, personal friend of mine. She knows wherever she knows 5 people in the book, she can get it signed. She can just show up where it's at.
Show up at the Christmas party, for goodness sake, right?
Not hard. All right, but that's it, guys. We are done for the night. We are on here for an hour and a half. Phil's phone is dying. We are all dying. Thank you. Tomorrow we will be up on Pop Anime. Some of us, I don't know who will be there. But Tom, thank you for breaking. Tom, you were in this book. We're breaking a leg with you, Tom.
Break your own damn leg.
Nobody fucks with Pooh Bear. Good night, everyone. I will drop kick the share button of the Kickstarter into Oblivion over this month. Thank you. We're gonna share it one more time. Try to get off this evil 666 because we clearly hated it the way we responded to it. We were very angry.
Just means that people need to keep going $100 at a time, or $1,000 at a time, right? Just
and yeah, we need to fix it, or just do it again. Oh, somebody fixed it. Thank you. All right, guys. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
For those, and we'll do these all week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you, guys.